From time to time, we get clients calling us, asking us to check out a property for them. They're mostly overseas, or they're not local to Northern California, and they want to find out if this property is worth actually acquiring and getting. Today we are going to Napa Valley. We're going to take a look at a couple of properties that the clients wants to purchase, and we're probably going to build them for them at Bay Scenery. So we're going to go check it out for the client, but we're also going to use a new tool, InQI, to kind of get all the property information when we start doing the design and construction. We want to give the client a lot of information. Is it worth it? Is it worth the investment? What is it going to take to build what they're looking to build? That's part of the work that we do. So we go check it out and see how it's going to work out. Okay, the client wanted us to take a look at this property here. It's a 4-acre property. This is in Napa Valley, to see if it's worth the investment they're going to purchase. So we're going to take a look at it. We can't go inside, but we're going to use the power of InQI to try to take a look at it and see how it's going to look. We visited the property earlier, but let's take a look at the data. We saw the site and so forth earlier. So this is the property. This is the link that he sent me. On the property, so we have some information. It's a raw land, basically. And if you look at the raw land, it has some information in here that talks about the fact that it can be developed and so forth, right? Now, it is almost 5 acres. So let's figure out if this can be developed or not, and what can we do on it. So let's get the address, and then what we do is we go to InQI, and InQI can be used for any address in the United States. So we take a look at it, we zoom in, zoom to the area. That's the area that we want. Let's take a look at the process. And within, 15 seconds or so, we have now every information that we need. To get there, we drove about 2 hours, just to take a look at the site and drive around it and so forth. We do that for our clients, just to make sure if they're not local, to make sure that they're getting the value. So let's look at now the details of the property. So when we visit the site, we went to the front location of the site. Let me zoom out so you can see it. So we basically were standing here and we took a look at it. Now, a couple of things stood out when we were there, but this confirms it as well. So while we have residential lots here, you can see on the screen, right? Basically, this is not a residential lot. And the reason we know that is it seems to be carved out from a farm section, the farmland. It has easement put together for it. So you got 2 properties on each side that goes to the property itself. It does have a small road that goes through it, but there's nothing on the property. So what do we know about this property? Let's take a closer look. So part of it is, we have this easement to deal with. That's the only way to get access to this property. We cannot get access to any other road. There might be an opportunity to ask this homeowner for access here, but probably he's not going to give it to us. So what is assigned to it is this road here. So it's a downside, right? You want to have a property that is easily accessible, and you're not squeezed between a couple other properties, but that's beside the point. Another thing about this property that is a little bit problematic, in my opinion, and I will tell my clients, is that basically he will have, and we can measure it from here, he is basically given about 16,000 square feet out for access to the road, right? That's basically what he's given out. Waste of land, right? So that's something that he has to consider when he's putting an offer on the property. Let's take another look. See who the property belongs to. So it's almost 5 acres, so there's a little distance there. This is registered from the county. It belongs to this trust, this family. As we thought, it is agricultural reserve, right? Agricultural preserve. So you can build a house on it, you cannot divide it. There's a handful of things because of the localities that we have to have in mind. Now, the price was asking was, let's see, what was the price asking? $4.1 million, right? Now, if you go here, we have assessed value about $2.9 million, and there's no structure on it, right? So, it's a little expensive for what it's there and what it does, but there's some good news as well. So if we look at the property itself, we notice that the property is pretty flat. There is some elevations in the corners, but they're minor. They're not a big deal. Can this lot be developed? Sure, it can be. With one house, one unit. You can have swimming pools and other things as well, but that's all you can do. Now, when you look at the property from the above, a couple of things that you have to have a consideration for is the fact that on the corner lots, this area here and this area on the side, there's two sides, I guess, one and a half side of it, is agricultural, right? So they're planting. So there'll be noise, there'll be a lot of activity, and it's going to be problematic from the housing type perspective. These homes don't have that issue. They're smaller lots, of course, but they have access, they don't have that issue. So with InQI, we were able to quickly figure out the property, the size of it, who owns it, what does it look like around it, what are the elevations of it, and if it's buildable or not. In a matter of a few seconds, we can analyze and figure that out. The value of InQI is that if you have any property in the United States, pop in an address, and you get a lot of information about it, and you can just take it from there and then take it to the next level. That's the value of InQI.